I know that when we were talking about the different options that were available to you before, you said that none of them made sense, and it's because you're on a budget. I certainly understand where you're coming from. In fact, other customers have had similar concerns. However, they all had a change of heart when I shared a quick idea with them. Is it all right if I take a second and share with you what I shared with them?
Yeah, okay.
So the most common misconception that consumers have is that the only payment they need to worry about is the payment that they make to their lender, when in reality, that's not the case. What you spend on your vehicle each month is a combination of things. It's what you send to the lender, it's what you spend on maintenance, repairs, it's your overall cost of ownership. Now, when people do come in for service, the most common reason, other than routine maintenance, is a check engine light, which is a little yellow light that tells you that something's wrong with your vehicle. Now, when that happens, you might have had an experience before where all you had to do was tighten the gas cap and problem solved. It goes away in a week. Well, with newer vehicles, that's never the case anymore. So when it happens, they're going to take your vehicle and plug it into a diagnostic machine. They run it for about an hour, and then they come out and they say, great news, we found out what the part is, and we actually have it in stock, so we can get working on it today. And you're thinking, all right, that's great news, 500 bucks? I guess it could be worse. Then they tell you the bad news. And the bad news is that in order to get to that part, we're gonna have to do something like this. This is a picture of a vehicle that was in service for about a week with a wiring harness issue. And it really shows you how complex of a machine that you're purchasing. When you take off all the fancy plastic and you roll back the curtain, you can see the 25 to 50 onboard computers that an average vehicle runs on, and the 5 miles of wiring that's underneath all of that. So you can imagine that some parts could be pretty hard to get to. Let's just say, for example, that you had a pretty routine job and it only took 4 hours of labor to get to the part that needed to be replaced. And if we round down to $100 an hour for the labor, that's still $400 just to get to the part. So you spend that $400, then you plug the new part in, that costs $500 itself. You already spent $100 in diagnostics. Now you have to spend even more labor to put it all back together. Let's just say it took just another 4 hours. Now all of a sudden you spent $1,400 on your vehicle that month. And guess what you still haven't done? You haven't made your car payment itself, which you told me you wanted to keep at $350. So altogether that month, your total new car payment is $1,750. Now, the service contract that we're discussing only costs about $30 per month as far as a payment difference. So don't you think it makes a lot more sense, especially if you're on a budget, to spend roughly $1 a day more and know what your payment's gonna be every month, as opposed to hoping over the next 6 years that you have this car payment, that not one of those months has a bad day in it? Wouldn't you rather just go with the fixed payment?